Wanted to start this video off with a little trivia. Did you guys know that spending 2 hours a day outside anywhere, doesn't have to be here in the mountains, but just outside anywhere, actually lowers your sympathetic nervous system and increases your parasympathetic nervous system, which ultimately decreases stress and cortisol in your body? How cool is that? So if you're feeling stressed, feeling anxious, get outside for 2 hours every single day, and that will help you out a lot. So Anna and I are up here in the mountains. We've been skiing, taking in some spring skiing for the end of the season here. And I wanted to talk to you about retakes and the importance of retaking workshops over and over again. It's something that I do with my skiing and snowboarding every single year. I take the exact same workshops over and over sometimes for my ski training and my snowboard training. I have a wonderful coach in Colorado. He's a nationally ranked coach. He teaches some fundamental classes, teaches advanced classes. Every year I take his fundamental classes over and over again, and he asks me why I retake the fundamentals. Well, because the first time you take any class, you're only going to retain maybe 25% of that information, if that, because it's new. To say that you can walk away from a workshop retaining 75 to 100% of the information given, not happening. Sorry, don't care who you are. So think about that. If you're only retaining 25% of the information from a workshop that you've taken, wouldn't it be important to go back and retake that as many times as you could until you were strong enough that you could even potentially teach that workshop? That's when you have a real understanding of a workshop and a real understanding of the fundamentals of what you're there to learn. So like I said, I've taken this fundamentals ski carving class 3 times, and each time my coach is like, yeah, we're just going to be doing the basic stuff over and over again. You've already done it 3 times. I'm like, yep, I know, and I'm going to do it a 4th time and a 5th time, to the point where I can get so good at all the drills that I could even potentially teach the course. That's the way I know that I have a solid foundation of the fundamentals. And I'd go and I do all the silly drills with all the new students over and over again. And then I go and practice those on my own when I'm not in class. And then I come back and I take advanced versions of these classes as well. Sorry about my finger in the video there, but had to move my arm. I was getting a little tired holding the phone here. But yeah, and then I take the advanced versions of those classes. And then sometimes I'll even retake the advanced classes. Why? Because I'm integrating those skills again, over and over and over again. You want to master something? It takes 10,000 hours. So, you know, I've definitely put in my 10,000 hours in skiing, that's for sure. And damn close in snowboarding. So with that, like, I'm able to go and ski and play all over the world and really get a rich experience out of those sports when I'm out and about all around the world. And that's something that I've always strived for, and I put in the work. And with every sport that I do, I put in the work. I take the same workshops over and over again. I practice the same things over and over and over relentlessly. Just this weekend, and I was practicing drills out on the ski slips because the snow was good, but it wasn't the best. I was just practicing the drills over and over. It was so boring, but I went and did it, which is really, really important. And I want to get good fast. I don't want to sit and try to figure it out on my own. They just kept showing up. It's that simple. They kept showing up. They kept putting the money on the table, saying, hey, I want to take this workshop. I want to be better. I'm going to practice this relentlessly, which is much like my experience with my training of all the things that I do with sports, as well as business and as well as my personal growth. Like, so let's take the personal growth aspect of this for myself, right? I have a recording from David Nagel, and it is absolutely amazing. I've probably listened to it 150 times. I kid you not. We got it from a workshop we attended of his way back in the day, and yeah, I've listened to it at least 150 times, if not more. And you know what? Every single time I listen to it, I learn something, because I can't retain all that information all at one time. Nobody can. If you think you can, well, you got to check your pride and check your ego, because that's not the case. And those are the ones that typically don't ever come back and wonder why they struggle so much with what they're trying to achieve in life. But, you know, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. So don't be one of those guys that are so prideful that you think you're above everybody else because you already took a workshop, because you already think you know the fundamentals. It's a very humbling experience to go back in a fundamental class of skiing and work on the basics over and over again, or snowboarding, or whatever sport I'm participating in. But in that humility, right, you put yourself back in a learning mindset and learn new drills and new practices that actually change over time, change you over time, and make you better at what you want to be good at. And so we kind of did like a little poll with some folks that have done a lot of retakes, right? And I kind of went over why repetitive workshops are so important. One other thing is, we don't ever teach the workshop the same way. There's always new questions. There's always new ways that we teach. So there's always something new to learn at every single workshop. Some of you come back in and retake those workshops and explode in a major way, life-changing stuff. And, you know, the guys that don't, well, you can only get that 25%, right? Because you're not an expert in the field, right? So you can only retain what you can retain, and you can't get any more out of it until you redo it and learn it at a deeper level, right? So the retaking is always going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into mastering what it is that you want to do with your life. So, you know, one of the main questions is, why should I retake something I already took? Well, I kind of went over that already, right? We want to master this skill set. We want to become the king of our own kingdom when we retake these workshops, when we keep working on the fundamentals, the basic principles, because when we get really good, you'll find out that you revert back to those fundamentals and those basic principles all the time, and then you just build off of that. The second thing, is it a waste of money? No, you actually can't waste money. That's a fallacy of life. Money always goes somewhere, right? And then that money goes from that place to another place to another place. So money can't ever be wasted. So if you roam around the world thinking that you waste money, that is a lack mindset, and that's not a mindset that gets people what they want in life. Money always goes somewhere, right? Whether you like to spend it or not is a whole different story. But if you do, and you believe in yourself, and you believe in the coaching, and you believe that you want to be the best at this, then you spend the money. It's not a waste. Even if you've taken the same workshops over, like I've done 3 times with my ski workshop, over and over. I pay for the full price every single time, over and over, because I learned so much from it, right? Even though I already know a lot of the information of what's going on, I still take it over and over because I'm looking for those little nuggets to make me an expert, right? Another question is, well, if I already took a workshop, does it mean I didn't grow? No, it does not mean that. It means that you actually grew, because you have, well, let's just say 25% more knowledge than you used to have. And if you retake it again, maybe you've retained 50% more. Now you have 75% more knowledge, right? You see how that builds? It's compounding. You can never go wrong retaking workshops or instruction from an expert instructor or coaches. You can never go wrong with that, right? Because you're only going to get better. And here's another question, right? I took it once. Why am I not finished growing? Well, a lot of people think if they do something one time, they've learned it all and they're finished growing, and there's nothing else to learn. That couldn't be further from the truth, right? Till the day we go in the ground, we are learning, we are getting better, and should be striving to be better, more knowledgeable, and more articulate with our ways in being in life. So no, just because you took a workshop doesn't mean you're finished growing. Just because I went and worked with one mentor doesn't mean I'm finished growing. It just means I'm a little smarter now, and I might have a new piece of information that makes my life easier to get me to where I want to be faster. That's what it means. And the more time you spend hanging out with experts, trying to master what it is that you want to master, the closer you're going to get to actually being a master yourself. So it takes time, right? And the winning mindset of a student that retakes is a mindset that I don't care what it costs. I don't care how much time I have to put in. This is what I want in my life. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop until I get to where I want. And I promise you, speaking from my own experience, when I've gotten to where I thought I wanted to be, I'm looking for the next level. I'm looking for the next great coach to help me along. And sometimes I stay with coaches and mentors for years because they have so much for me to learn from that I'm not ready to leave them. And once I feel that I could potentially teach all of their material at the level that they do, then yeah, I might be looking for another coach. But that's really rare that the student really outgrows the coach, unless they are just, working non-stop. It does happen, and that's what every great coach wants to happen. But it rarely does happen. But that's the mindset of a winning student and a winner in general. They go through the fundamentals over and over and over and over again until it becomes so boring that they're looking for little pieces here and there to make that mastery really come through in their life. So I hope that helps answer and debunk some of the myths of retaking workshops, because I promise you the guys that do come in and retake the workshops have some serious epiphany. These guys are growing because they're showing up, they're putting the work in, they're getting better and better and better and better. And if you're one of these guys that just sits and watches the chats and doesn't do anything, well, don't expect to be at the level that these other guys are, that are showing up and putting the work in and really wanting to be there, really wanting to be the best version of themselves, right? They fight through the apathy, they fight through the grief, they fight through the frustration, the fear, the anger, right? They fight through all of that. It's not easy. And those are like the drills, right? It's fighting through that stuff to learn how to manage it, to be the best that you can be. And that's why these guys blow up. It looks, it's like, you know them 1 year and the next year they're a completely different human being. And that is because they put the time in. So with that said, are you willing to put the time in? Are you willing to retake? Are you willing to throw down the money for yourself? Because remember, money invested in yourself is the best investment around. There's no other better investment than the investment in oneself. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it cleared up some of the misnomers around retakes. Don't hesitate, get in there, take advantage, learn to master what it is that you want to master. All right, gents, hope you found this helpful. I'll talk to you soon.